When you first start boxing, you're taught that there are 6 basic punches: the jab, the right, the hooks, and the uppercuts. In reality, there are many variations of these punches that the elites use every time they fight. In this video, let's dive into them. Alright, so the first punch we're going to talk about is the up jab. This is more of a kung fu punch. You see guys like Manny Pacquiao do it a lot, and you've definitely seen Bruce Lee do it in his movies. So it's just a variation of the jab, and all you're really going to do is just shoot the jab upwards, right? You're going to shoot it straight up without turning it. You're not going to rotate your shoulder. You're going to shoot your jab straight up, right? And you could even shoot it in a way where you're intercepting their punch and come up this way, right? And you could do it while you're moving as well, right? Which is a great way to throw it. And what this will do is it'll help you split the guard of your opponent. You see Manny do this all the time. He'll come in with something like, with his left hand, since he's a southpaw, he'll shoot the jab up, and then he'll come in with the left down the line, right? You can do the same thing if you're an orthodox fighter. Come up with the up jab, and then immediately shoot the right down the line, right? So, right? It'll help you split that guard. It'll help you get there quicker, and it's a punch that doesn't get telegraphed, right? You're not really showing your opponent that you're throwing the jab because there's no rotation happening. There's no really tweaks other than the straight shot up. The next punch is the overhand and the underhand right. Now, the overhand is something that's really popular. A lot of people throw it. They call it the 7th punch or just a variation of the right hand. But the underhand is something that is completely underutilized in boxing. If you're a southpaw, this will be your left, but in this case, we're going to go with just the orthodox terminology. So for this punch, what you basically want to do is go overhand, right? It's a right hand that comes over the top. And what I like to do is I like to turn my fist over this way so I can land with those 2 lead knuckles the way Khabib did against Conor McGregor in that second round, right? You want to turn it over, boom, and come over that top. It's a great punch to throw over somebody's jab. If you want to take their jab away from them, right, you just slip, boom, get off that center line and come over the top. Always get off that center line when you throw it. And another thing you could do, again, a lot of these punches come from the most unorthodox puncher there is, which is Roy Jones Jr., and that's the underhand right hand, which he threw against Virgil Hill and broke his rib with it, right? And you can do this with either hand, but I prefer to do it with the right because I get more power on it. And basically what you're going to want to do is as soon as they throw that jab, you slip it, get off the center line, and boom, come to the body, right? You basically, boom, and those are very uncomfortable shots. And you want to still land with that knuckle, right? You want to come in with that underhand and catch him right to the gut. And it's a punch that's uncomfortable and it's going to make your opponent tentative to throw that jab. Whether you throw it over or you throw it under, you're going to take that jab away from them. One of my favorite unorthodox punches is what I call the straight hook, and I got this straight out of the Roy Jones playbook. Basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be throwing the hook but with your arm straight out, right? So it's almost going to look like a wing punch, but you want to keep it neat and keep it tight. So what you're going to do is you're going to shoot that hook just like a hook. You're going to come bring it around like a hook, but you're going to extend your arm all the way, right? And you want to still land with the fist, but you're going to straighten that arm out when you throw it. So here we are. We're going to go, right? And what this allows you to do is get much more distance on that hook. It gives you the distance of a straight punch with the power of a hook. And you could do it with either hand, right? You basically throw it like a hook, but you extend it all the way. And you could get a lot of power on it, but much more range. Next is a punch made most popular by Triple G himself, and it's the overhand hook, or rather the downwards hook, whatever you want to call it. And you've seen him do this in fights many times. When you see a guy with his guard up and he's got a tight guard, maybe he's on the ropes, what Triple G would do, instead of doing a Lomachenko and pushing his glove down, he would just come over the top with his hook and hit you right on the temple, right, which is dangerous. And with his solid shots, his dense shots, those are hurting. He put a couple guys out like that, right? So as soon as you see a guy with his guard up, you basically just want to shoot that hook downward, right? You want to come up with it. So the same way you throw a hook this way, you're going to come up with it and then shoot it downwards, right? So it's that downwards trajectory. And you want to practice this as much as you can so you know how to push that force down into your opponent, right? Every time. So you want to hop, right? With either hand, right? Because you're coming over that guard, and you're catching them right on the temple. It's a thudding shot, and a shot that they don't expect. They expect you to just, boom, come this way with the hook. So instead you, boom, come over the top, boom, come over the top, and hit with those 2 lead knuckles. Those hurt, those are dense, and it'll make your opponent think twice before sitting there with their guard up. Last but not least is what I call the uppercut. And again, I got this from Roy Jones Jr., and the best example of it is when he knocked out Montel Griffin with it in their second fight. Right, basically it's a combination of a hook and an uppercut. Mike Tyson has thrown it a lot too. Instead of throwing the traditional hook, or a traditional uppercut that just comes right up. You're gonna find that middle ground, right? You're gonna find that middle ground where you can torque your body the same way you do a hook, but you'll be landing more on the side of the chin rather than underneath it, right? So it won't be coming straight up, it won't be coming straight to the side, and you'll actually see that you're getting both the leverage of a hook and an uppercut on this punch, right? So basically you'll be here, hop, and this is actually a great punch that you can practice on the back, right? You can sit here, hop, boom, and come up with it, right? And it'll come from an angle, awkward angle that's very hard to see. It's almost like a blind spot, right? It's not coming straight here, it's not coming straight up. So you'll just be here, and come straight up, and again, you could do this with either hand. Remember guys, drills pay the bills. If you want to get good at these punches and these boxing variations, then drill them all day long. Drill them until you get them right, try them in sparring, then drill them some more, try them in sparring, and drill them some more. That's how you'll improve your punches, and that's how you'll be able to utilize them in the real fight. Drop me a comment below, let me know which one of these punches was your favorite. Other than that, I'm Sean with Brawl Brothers, and I'll brawl with you guys next time.